U.S. political reporter for the Daily Mail, Victoria Churchill, and she's covering this story for them. Great to be with you guys. So, Ray, let me go to you first. You know, Plattner is saying he's taking time to reflect on his candidacy, postponing multiple events this week before the story broke. So do you think, Ray, this is the end of Graham Plattner? And what do you make of the timing of all this?
First of all, Tracy, nice to see you again. You know, we talked about this on my morning show. I think one of the things that's gotten lost here is a woman, once again, was sexually assaulted, and she was afraid for her life to come out and talk about it and maybe report it to the authorities. I think that's the real story, because Plattner should never be where he is right now. Why did it take this event, after all of the egregious things that he's done that are certainly beneath the institution of the United States Senate? So I don't know if he's going to stay in or get out. It's hard to tell, because he's such an arrogant, narcissist guy. He doesn't seem to care about anyone but himself. When the underage website stuff came out, he threw his wife under the bus and had her come out and speak for him on it. I would never, I've been married 41 years, I would never have done that to my wife. I would have stood up and been a man about it. So I respect his service in the Marines. I respect he might be struggling with post-traumatic stress. But this guy's a train wreck. I think he thinks he can weather this. We'll see. I could be wrong. He could drop out tonight, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he stays in this race.
Yeah, you know, Ray, I lived in Maine, as you know, for many years working in local media there, and I'm really surprised the amount of people that supported him for so many years. And also Stephen King apparently is still behind him. It's just mind-blowing. But there are many prominent Democrats like Ro Khanna, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and Tim Walz, who all knew about Plattner's past scandals, and they backed him anyway. And now some are pulling their endorsements and are pressuring him to drop out of the race. Senator John Fetterman, of course, from Pennsylvania, is calling on Sanders and others to apologize for backing Plattner. So, and we are being told, of course, that Sanders is saying he wants him to step out now. But let me ask you this, Victoria. How big of an impact do you think that Plattner's legacy is going to have on the Democrat Party?
Well, thank you so much for the question, Tracy. And it is really an important one to be asking, because the way that we all ended up in this situation with Plattner as the nominee is because of the lack of vetting by these progressive consultants, including Morris Katz and also Daniel Maraf, who is somebody that I have covered in a number of instances in my work at the Daily Mail, because Maraf was a consultant not only for Plattner, but also for people like Dan Osborne, the so-called independent, who of course is backed by pretty radical left-wing progressives, who's running in Maine, for example, against Pete Ricketts. So even if this is the end for Plattner, and we will see if he does end up dropping out before the 13th, and then if the party replaces him by the 27th, but these Plattner-type candidates who have not been thoroughly vetted are still out there. And I think that is something that is very important to note in all of these discussions, is that the people that put him in this position are fielding candidates all across the country, and that there is more and more digging that needs to be done on all of these people before they, have a chance to be elected representatives, whether that's before they win primaries or, even as we're seeing in this case, it's important to keep doing this vetting and keep doing this digging even after they get nominations.
Yeah, this is a huge talker. We got to leave it right there, though, guys. Victoria, Ray Richards, great to be with you guys. Thanks so much for weighing in.